Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Arabic Khatawaat. In this video, we'll go over the Arabic verb patterns, looking at different examples in different tenses. This chart represents all 10 patterns, but we're looking at the patterns when they are in al-madi, madi, which is past, and then you're looking at mudari', which is present. And when you're looking at the past and the present, then the future, you're only looking at form 1 or 2, not the entire verb conjugation. So again, this chart is only for Arabic verb patterns and the 10 patterns only, not their conjugation. So fa'ala is he did something. And we're talking about madi. Ma'loom is you know who did the action. And ma'loom is known. You know who did the action. And I'll give you some examples in a minute. Then majhool is unknown. You don't know who did the action. So you don't know the subject or the doer. Same thing for mudara'. You have ma'loom and majhool. Ma'loom, known, and then majhool, unknown. Mustaqbal, future. Mustaqbal, you also have ma'loom and majhool. And then when you have jari, it means ongoing. But this is a reference to a human doing the action, so a doer. And then majhool, it's done with it. It's an object. So when you say done with it, you're referring to an object. So majhool, you don't know who did the action, but you know the object that was used for that action. So again, we're looking at the 10 patterns. Let's look at a few examples. So here I'm going to use one root, which is da, ra, sa, and I will try to use the same root in 3 different sentences and see how we can have different meanings. So the first example we have is درس أحمد اللغة العربية. درس أحمد اللغة العربية. درس, he studied. Or he learned. If you're going to be closer to the English meaning, he learned the Arabic language. And when you're saying he, you're referring to the verb darasa, but you're not necessarily saying huwa darasa Ahmed. You're just darasa. And Ahmed is the subject. So what you're saying here is Ahmed learned or studied, learned the Arabic language. If I change the pattern from 1, darasa, which rhymes with fa'ala, rhyme 1 right here, or form 1, then I'm referring to this meaning. But if I change it and I say darasa, which is form 2, darasa, I'm not saying he learned, I'm saying he taught. So درس أحمد اللغة العربية. درس أحمد اللغة العربية. Ahmed taught the Arabic language. And here let's let's look at it on paper, how we are going to organize the sentences. That way you can look at these examples using 3 different forms. So I'm going to write the 3 sentences with 3 different verbs. The first one is darasa. The second one is darasa. And then the third one is durrisa. And the rhyming you're looking at, I'm going to put them right here, or the patterns. That way you can see the short cases, or how the short cases agree. So fa'ala would be darasa, and then we're putting fa'alam as a reference to the root letters. Then we are transferring the exact same short cases that the verb took. So do, ri, sa, fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'ila. So my sentence would be darasa Ahmed, and I will use the same person, Ahmed, and then Ahmed. And I will use the exact same vocabulary, اللغة العربية, اللغة العربية. And then same here, اللغة العربية. And then again, اللغة العربية. But all 3 sentences have completely different meanings. The only indication to the different meanings are the way you pronounce the verbs. So the pattern indicates the meaning of the sentence. So the pattern of verbs. Darasa here, I'll put the translation down here. Darasa, darasa is he learned or he studied. So he learned or studied. And we're saying he because we're using the conjugation of he, but not necessarily using he in the Arabic sentence. So this is just a reference to the verb conjugation. And then the second one would be darasa, taught, which comes from teach. The third one is he was taught. So again, the reference to the conjugation. Durrisa, he was taught. When you're saying durrisa is you don't know who did the action. So the subject is not Ahmed. But darasa, Ahmed is the person who learned. So Ahmed here is the subject. Darrasa means Ahmed taught Arabic to someone. So we can say li talib أمريكي, and I can use any other adjectives. لطالب جديد, to a new student, to an American student. So whatever adjective I want to put here, it just matches the gender of this noun. But we're looking at 3 different sentences as I was saying, and here I'm going to put all the translation to all of them. So Ahmed learned the Arabic language. And then the second one would be Ahmed taught the Arabic language. Then here Ahmed was taught the Arabic language. So in the exact same sentence, you're looking again, at the exact same words, but you're looking at 3 different patterns. Some students come to me and say, what if the text shows or is displayed without short cases? How am I going to know if the words don't have short cases? This is why we learn through context the entire text or what you're talking about. درس أحمد اللغة العربية. I'm talking about a student or a person who is learning the Arabic language. So the conversation is introducing the person as a learner. So the context introduces you to the meaning of the verb. درس أحمد اللغة العربية. You can tell from additional information if you have to, someone, or in a place. He taught Arabic في الجامعة. درس أحمد اللغة العربية في جامعة أمريكية. درس أحمد اللغة العربية في بيته أو درس اللغة العربية. And you have additional information that tells you that the word here or the verb here refers to Ahmed as a teacher. Now here درس he was taught. درس أحمد اللغة العربية. So if you have the script, you would recognize from additional information. If you don't have the script, you would recognize from the sound the verbs are making when someone is speaking to you. So if you're reading, you're looking at additional information from the context, from adjectives and other indicators. But if someone is speaking to you, you would know through the pattern of the verb. درس, درس, درس. Let's look at other examples where I'm going to use a different root. And the root I'll be using here has qa, ba, la, qa, ba, la. Something to remember, this note to remember is root letters have to keep the same order. Keep the same order. Why? If you change the order of ba, let's say you're gonna switch lam and put lam here, then you accidentally switch and put ba here, and then you're doing qa, la, ba. Instead of saying the meaning of qabila, qabala, which is closer to accept, and other meanings related to two people or two things or two sides to a story. And then qalaba is flip something, flip it around. So totally different meanings. That's why you have to keep the exact same order of the root letters. And I'll explain to you why this is very important when it comes to looking for additional vocabulary using dictionaries and other resources. So I'm going to erase that part, that way we can stick to one root. And again, I am referring to it as, here we go, let's do it thicker, that way you can see the letters. The qa, the ba, and the lam. We're not putting short cases on the roots. Again, we're not putting short cases on the roots. No short cases, just the sounds. Qa, ba, and la. So the word, I'll write these, and then I'll write this one. Qabla. And this says qabila. قبل 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 قبل. Then you have تقابل. Then you have قابل. And then تقبل. You learn the sounds as you get introduced to new vocabulary. تقبل. So قبل قبل تقابل قابل تقبل. And we can just here we have another one. It just crossed my mind right now. It's أقبل أقبل. So all of these share the same root, and as you can see here, let me see if I can highlight it. I'll highlight the root, that way you can see it. It's قبل, it has it. قبل, again, قبل, and قبل, and قبل. What's different here is that the short cases are quite different. And then the meanings are all different again. So here is the translation. And then we'll put the patterns, that way we can see. The one, قبل, accept. So he accepted. قبل قبل العرض. There is a sentence I can think of right now. It's قبل العرض. He accepted the deal or the offer. قبل العرض. And I can say العرض or pause because I'm speaking. قبل العرض is he accepted the offer. So as you're learning, try to compile a set of sentences where you can visualize the word in its context, and you can always collocate or connect new vocabulary with the verbs you're learning. So قبل 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 is kissed, he kissed. So قبل, and we can think of قبل, and we're only using the conjugation of هو, which is he. So قبل الولد يد أمه. The boy or the son kissed his mother's hand. So قبل الولد يد أمه. قبل الولد يد أمه. The son kissed his mom's hand, his mother's hand. So as I am reading these sentences, please make sure you are reading along. So قبل العرض, there is no stress on ب. قبل العرض قبل العرض. قبل الولد يد أمه. قبل الولد يد أمه. Then we have تقابل. تقابل is met. So he met or meet. The meaning in the infinitive English translation is accept, kiss, and then meet. تقابل. And then تقابل, it requires two people accomplishing this action of meeting. So تقابل تقابل الصديق, let me say, تقابل الصديق وصاحبه, some other stuff like that. So تقابل, let me think of another example. So not yet. Now, so تقابل, I can think of a sentence like تقابل العريس. تقابل العريس وعروسه. تقابل العريس وعروسه. The groom and the bride met. And then you can say تقابل العريس وعروسه في, in, and you indicate the place where they've met. So قابل, قابل, this meeting, one person meeting another person. But تقابل, two people meeting each other. But قابل, it's also meet and he met, but one person approached the action of meeting. We can say قابل المدير الموظف. قابل المدير الموظف. See if I can write it. A new page here. I'll just clean this part. That way you can see. So قابل. So excuse all the little doodling right here. And I hope you were able to take notes as I was writing. But if not, you can just pause the video and then go back. So let's finish the rest. There we go. Oops. We'll go over this one as well. Here we go. Now what we have is قابل. قابل المدير. المدير is the boss or the director. قابل المدير الموظف. قابل المدير, the director, met the employee. الموظف, the employee. Here you have employee. And then mudir is you have director. And it's used also for principal. You can say boss or manager as well. قابل is met. تقبل. تقبل is accept something. So let's say you kind of comply to something or you bear something. So تقبل. And I can use it in an example like this. تقبل الرجل تقبل الرجل, the man accepted or complied. تقبل الرجل وظيفته. وظيفة, sorry, وظيفة is job. Right? And I'm going to refer to his job. And here تقبل الرجل وظيفته. تقبل الرجل وظيفته. If I say a sentence like this, it refers to a different level of acceptance. The first one would be to accept is قبل, he accepted the offer. But تقبل is initially the person didn't like something and it took him a while, or it took him or her some time to accept it, to comply with it. So تقبل, accept with an effort. So تقبل. And sometimes people would say just accept the situation, and you would use the example like تقبل, and here you are using command. تقبل الوضع. Just accept the situation or the circumstances. here تقبل الوضع. Especially if someone is having hard time, you would tell them تقبل and only referring to masculine. تقبل الوضع. Accept the situation. تقبل, and this is command to a person, to a masculine, and you're addressing the person. So تقبل الوضع. تقبل الوضع يا أخي, my brother. تقبل الوضع, my brother, يا أخي. تقبل الوضع يا أخي. And if we're saying it to a girl, we would say تقبلي الوضع يا أختي. So a girl would be تقبلي, and then you would say أختي. تقبلي الوضع أختي. So this is just an example of how you can have totally different patterns and then still have the exact same root because they're sharing something in common. The last word or verb we have and is أقبل. أقبل is approach. To approach. So أقبل, or to come forward. So أقبل. أقبل الرجل بوجه بشوش. If I say the man approached with cheerfully, I'm saying that the person is coming forward with a good attitude. So I would say أقبل الرجل بوجه بشوش. أقبل الرجل بوجه بشوش. And I'll use it right here. See, I'll write the sentence. So أقبل الرجل بوجه بشوش. So we have أقبل الرجل بوجه بشوش. بشوش. I'll try to squeeze بشوش somewhere. Here, I can put it here. بشوش is cheerful. بشوش. So بوجه بشوش. بشوش. I'll try to rewrite the sentences in a cleaner format. That way you can see them without the translation and be able to read. So here we're looking at the exact same sentences, and I just rewrote them in cleaner form. So قابل المدير الموظف. And then تقبل, make this thinner. تقبل الرجل وظيفته. And then تقبل الوضع يا أخي. تقبل الوضع يا أخي. أقبل الرجل بوجه بشوش. So these are just some examples. I'm going to move to the pattern and how we can recognize the pattern in these words. So these adjectives, these verbs, قبل, قبل, تقابل, أقبل, قابل, تقبل. What we're doing, we're keeping the exact same root, and then we are just putting the short cases. So we have the short cases, and I'm going to put the short cases first, and any additional sounds here, ta, and then short cases. That way you can see what transfers to the pattern. And then we have fatha, alif, fatha, and then fatha. Then we have ta, fatha, shadda, and then fatha. So here I'm going to write the pattern, and you can see how it's written. Just same thing. I missed one, and I'll just write them here, the last one. So here I'm going to write it. We have fa, a, la. So we're keeping fa, a, and la. And then we're keeping fa, a. I'll rewrite this one. So fa, a. And then we have fa, a, and then, oh my god, lam. So here we have fa, ha, and lam. And we go again to this one. Fa, ala, rhymes with qabala. Ta, fa'ala. And then the last one is af'ala. Af'ala. So as you can see, all the verbs that we learned earlier, they have different patterns and also different meanings, but the root is the exact same one. You have additional letters, prefixes, and also long vowels, and you have additional letters and sounds, but the root has the same reference in the pattern, which is fa, ayn, and lam, because it's a reference to qa and ba and lam in this example. So this is how you would learn a set of new roots and then new vocabulary, finding the root first and then finding all the other patterns based on what sounds happen at the beginning, what additional vowels or long vowels you have in the middle, like in here, and then just the short cases have to match. So thank you for watching, and in the next video we'll be exploring how to use an Arabic dictionary using the root system.